Okay, everyone. I got my poop in the group now, and we're heading out to the tree dump. That's where this Kentucky coffee tree log is. If you saw, you probably saw this log on one of my previous videos where I was troubleshooting my saw, trying to figure out what was wrong with it. So, if you like this type of content, like the things you're seeing, go ahead, give a like, give a subscribe, ring that bell so you know when I'm putting the videos out. So stick with me and we'll get set up out at the tree dump for milling, and we'll be right back. Okay, friends, we're out at the tree dump, and I'm going to show you a little bit of how I set these things up to cut initially. So, kind of get the log set the way I want. On this end, it's 24 inches in diameter, left to right. And on the other side, I believe it's like 26. And the mill, the way it's set right now, 28 inches is the max cut width. So there is a little bump here. I don't know if you can see that very well. Bumps out a little bit, so that might be an issue, but it's a little concave bananaed on this side, curving like that. But so I have these 5/4 boards that I've ripped down, and I screw those on the end of the log like this, and I put a torpedo level on it. So this side's level and this side's level. So that way, if they're both level with the bullet level or torpedo level, then you're going to be level across from one side to the other when I put the Unit Strut on there. So here's the Unit Strut, and I'll show you that next. Okay, so I have the Unit Strut put on there. You can see right here I have a fender washer and a screw, fender washer and a screw, and then the same thing over here on this side. So that just holds the Unit Strut on those end boards. So now we have a level left to right. It doesn't matter if it's level from this end to that end. It only matters level left to right. Actually, we prefer a slope downhill from this end to that end, or your start end to your end end, because then gravity kind of helps. As the saw chews away the wood, it'll almost naturally feed through. Some guys, and I've done it in the past, mount a winch onto the mill. That's what this bolt here is for. I can mount a winch on there, and then it will go from the mill to the other side of the log, maybe attach it to one of these, the anchor point, and have a pulley, and it will help you feed through the cut. So now that we're all set up and ready to start the first cut, I'll get the saw warmed up, get my PPE on and all that good stuff, and we'll show you some action of me cutting this. Okay, the saw's been warming up pretty good for us here. I want to make a clear path where it's going to be walking as I go along with the saw here. PPE, neck cap, ear protect, especially with this corded saw, very important and a big deal. And then I also have some wedges that I put into the cans of the cut as I go along. So one in the end, and then once I get around 2/3 to 3/4 way done, I'll put a couple my saw idle and cool down for a little bit while I take things off. Wind, what a pain. I'd get some weights for that or something. Usually by the time I get those 4 screws out, pretty good to cut that one off. Get the muffs off and put back on my hat. Yeah, it's kind of a bummer. I don't know how much of that we actually got, but I guess I'll find out when we're going through the footage. But kind of a bummer. I'll do other cuts at regular speed if we didn't get much of that. But yeah, I'll get this pulled off and I'll show you what the grain looks like. Okay, so this is what the grain of the Kentucky coffee tree looks like. Pretty stuff. You can see right here where I stopped to put the wedge in. If I'm cutting stuff for 2x4s and things like that, they're really softwood, fir, pine, stuff like that. I usually don't even wedge it. I just keep going. But especially if they're not really long. You know, this is about 8-footer. So yeah, really pretty grain in here. And we're just starting to get into the heartwood. So it'll get better as we go. So stick with me. Okay, now I'll show you how I set my cut depth. So these are just a tad over 2.5 inches. So I just set one on each side, and then I loosen up these U-bolts. Which allows this to, man, this trailer does not work well for this. My other trailer has a longer tongue and definitely works better for this type of stuff. But anyway, loosen that up. The U-bolts up, and then it will come down and rest. So if these are 2.5 inches and you have them sandwiched in between there, then all you gotta do is tighten it back up. There are measuring marks on the side of these uprights, like here. But I rarely use them because I just put these blocks in there and do it that way. Now, is this super precise? No, but you're also milling with the chainsaw. So, I mean, you gotta kind of be realistic. After these dry, they're gonna have to be flattened anyway. Usually with a router sled, or if you have a really expensive planer that can do that kind of width, you can use those. But then I just pull these out, and now I have 2 inches between the top of the bar and the bottom of these rails. And then I will cut all of these at that thickness for the remainder of the log. So not a lot of having to fart around and switch, you know, if I can. That's the best way to do it. So stick with me and we'll do some more milling. The saw warming up for this next cut. It really hadn't cooled off, but I did fuel it back up also, because on a log this size, you get about 2 cuts. It's time to fill up. Gas guzzler. Now, we don't have the rails right on it. Now, when I first start the cut, I want to push on the leading edge as I'm coming into the cut until the back rail is resting on the log. And then the opposite when I'm coming out. I want to pull back on it as the next how long that took, but I will say this stuff is not cutting easily. It's definitely a hard wood. I'm a member of the locust family, and we all know how hard those are. But I have a feeling it's going to be some beautiful wood for projects. Once again, I let the saw cool down, and pull off my piece. I'll lean it against the trailer. Then we'll take a look at the next piece underneath. Oh yeah, these puppies are heavy. They got some weight to them. 2.5 inches thick, so. Let it take a break. It's cooled off nicely. But bring you guys over so you can get a look too. Everybody wants to see the inside of the logs, right? That's probably one of my favorite parts of milling. Seeing the inside. I'll bring you guys over. There. Get you set at a height where you can see it really good. But yeah, I mean, you can see every place that you stop. That's the key to a smooth cut, is not stopping or minimizing your stops. But yeah, it's some pretty wood. You know, almost looks like some of the pine boards or Doug fir or something like that. Looks like the grain of that, except it is much harder wood. I'm gonna get the moisture meter and we'll just see what it is inside here. Okay, I got my 2-in-1 here. So it's showing 32-31% moisture in the middle of this. Yeah, pretty consistently 32-31. Just for the heck of it, we'll stick it in there. So with the pins, it's saying 24. Now this tree blew down in a windstorm, I don't know, a month ago, I suppose, and I cut it to this size. I don't know, I can't remember, a month or so, a couple weeks ago for sure. Cut it down to this 8 foot, so you can see on the ends that it's dried out a little bit. Maybe you can't on the camera, but I can. It's a lighter color, but yeah, wintertime wood, you know, is that's the time of year where it's lowest, well, especially early winter, late winter. Once it warms up, they start drawing up moisture again. That's why the maple syrup guys get their sap that time of year for the maple syrup. But yeah, this pretty much fell over or blew over. The best time for having a low moisture in the wood. Lower, I mean, it's definitely not a moisture that could be made into a table right now. It's got to get down to around 8 for that. So, oh, I can tell you one thing. These slabs are heavy. Oh, heavy, heavy. Oh my Lord. Probably more than the average person could pick up by themselves. But I'm slightly above average, and I'm also not afraid to use leverage and stuff. I'll give you guys a look at this beauty. Goodness sakes. Look at that puppy. Oh yeah. The wind is a blowing. See if I can get that slung up over. Now, as far as doing these slabs and stuff, this little pickup trailer's been working pretty good so far. As long as your slabs aren't too long, because this tailgate's got some issues. But I'm not sure how many more we're going to get out of this log. It is not cutting easy for me. I got 3 good slabs. All right, folks, that's what's left of that log. It's just getting to be a little bit too much of a pain in the butt to mill this thing. The cuts are taking way longer than anything I've ever milled before, and it's starting to not be as much fun. So this is a hobby for me, so I'm not gonna kick my butt to get it done. But this is the last slab here. It is pretty wood. I'm sure it's going to be even better, you know, once it's been dried and flattened and everything, and has a finish on it. But I got 4 good size slabs off of that, and then this initial cut here, he'll be firewood, and probably the rest of that log will be firewood also. I just never dealt with this wood before, so live and you learn, right? Okay, folks, I I know this is probably going to be a really long video, and I'm going to do my best in editing to cut out the stuff that doesn't really matter or speed it up when necessary. But I want to thank everybody for stopping in and checking out this milling. Unfortunately, it didn't get the whole thing done, and you know, that's just the way it goes sometimes. It's getting later in the day. I still got to unload all this stuff, and have to work tomorrow and the next day. So this weekend I might come out and finish cutting that up into firewood along with all the ash logs that are laying next to it. We'll just have to see. We are supposed to get some snow on Friday. That's today's Tuesday, so my next day off I'll have some snow. So might be some video of pushing snow with the Coyote rather than doing this. And then Saturday I have to move my son. He got a new job, so I'm helping him load up where he was living so he can get his stuff to where he's going to. So thanks everybody for stopping in, and we'll see you next time. Be safe, brothers.